What up, though? It's the word. You see the title. We'll talk about it. But first, do me a favor. Hit that like. And if you're new, hit that subscribe. It's free to you, but it means a lot to me. All right. What up, Blackbird? Um, we'll have a conversation today. We're going to talk about autism, what we know and what we need to know. We're going to get a parent's perspective. Heather, appreciate you. Um, your autistic mother too. I'm gonna open the link is pinned for those who either have autism or have a child or loved one who have autism. I got my sister backstage, so I'm gonna start off with her. But the link is pinned. I appreciate it if only people who have personal experience either have it or have a child. I appreciate only those people who either have it or have a child, because we go get the perspectives of the parents too, and I want perspectives of people who have it. April is Autism Awareness Month. This is something that I was unaware of. I would say I wasn't informed, and I still don't know a lot. You know, my nephew has it. I'm gonna bring my sister up in a second, but before my nephew had it, I'm gonna be honest. I was naive to it. And the misconceptions about it a lot is a lot of them because uh, autism is different and it affects people differently. So, without further ado, this is my sister. I'm gonna bring her up. James, what up, brother?
Hi. Oh, do I
Hey,
just?
Niners, how you doing? I
Yeah, how
got
are you?
I got one more guest on the back, Cindy Poole. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Hello,
Hello,
Cindy. Hi, Cindy. How are you?
I'm good.
You good? Okay. So we got. I'm sorry, Cindy. Are you? Do you have a child who has autism?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So I got my sister on the panel, and I got Miss Cindy Poole on the panel. I'm gonna let these two ladies talk, because, like I said, I don't have the personal experience, but I do want you guys to tell your story and tell your understanding of it. I'm gonna let my sister go first, and then Cindy, you got the floor.
Okay. Hi. I am the sister of the word. My oldest child, my son, my only son, he was diagnosed with autism at the age of 5. Um, Before his diagnosis, I was naive to it as well. Um, the only person that I knew with autism was one of my high school classmates. And I went to high school with him all 4 years and didn't find out he had autism till our junior year. Um, Back then, though, his form, he wasn't classified as on the spectrum because he just had Asperger's, but then later on they classified Asperger's as autism as well. Anywho, but yes, my son was diagnosed at the age of 5. I started noticing delays in his development when he was 2. Things that just made me go, his doctor said that she felt it was too young to diagnose him at that time. And then we got him me and my ex-husband, we got him into school. He started at the age of 3. He went to a developmentally delayed class, preschool class. And then his school, along with, the speech therapist, the school psychologists, they diagnosed him with autism. I had to fill out a bunch of paperwork. And I was a young mom, so that was very overwhelming for me. Especially when I first got the diagnosis, his father was away in Korea. He was in the army, South Korea. Um, and there just wasn't a whole lot of family support from his side because they didn't they didn't think that he had it. They just kept looking at autism like, oh, there's something wrong with him. There's something wrong. Like, it's a disease. He'll get over it. Like, literally, that's what they were calling it. So it was rough. But um he is thriving. He is 14 now. He's going to high school in the fall. Um I will say it's still a bit overwhelming. Just all of the information is so much gets thrown at you, with schooling and all the resources from outside of school is a lot. But there is a lot of support out there that you can take advantage of. Um, but that's what I have to say right now. That's all I got.
Okay, we get Miss Cindy Poole. You want to introduce yourself and just give us a short background, and I'm gonna ask you, ladies, a couple questions.
Okay, my name is Cindy Poole. I do have a YouTube channel. You can look me up at Cindy Poole. It's me with Prince picture on symbol on the front line. And sorry, I do have a speech problem myself. I do stutter sometimes, but I try and get as clear as I can. Um, yeah, my child was born and raised with autism, and plus on my YouTube channel, I told a story about him. I even introduced him to the world. He he's 23 right now. Um, I started off going through, making him go through therapy. I was at the age of like her like the age of 3 or 4 and stuff like that. No, it was actually 3 because my son, I thought he was about to grow up to be a mute because my son did not utter a word till he was 4 years old. Okay, in my story on my YouTube channel, I said that God came to me. He let me dream about my child speaking to me constantly in my dreams. So one day I prayed about it. I said, God, um, you allowed me to let my child speak in my dreams, but can you please make it reality? So one day he came by speech therapy and stuff like that, or physical therapy, or whatever have you. And the other kids was in school because I do have 5 children. The other kids was in school, so it clicked in my mind, and I said to myself, turn off all the televisions, turn off all the lights, let him concentrate on my words. So I said, Antoine, that's his name. I said, Antoine, say mommy. All of a sudden, he said, mommy. I was so overjoyed. Tears came through down my eyes. There it is, because I was so damn doggone happy to hear my child speak for the very first time. Then I told him say his sister name and his brother's name, everything else, and it's like he just excelled then because down the line, um, nobody taught him that, not even myself. I was about to get the Dish Network, and I said, well, I'm about to get Dish because I do speak to him because I don't speak to him, I don't treat him no special to my others. I feel like he's not special. He just thinks a different way than my other children. So I don't treat him different from my other ones. So he told me Dish Network. He said satellite. It come from the sky. I was overwhelmed. I feel like they are so much as a genius in their own way. They excel in different ways, and it's like he was teaching me as I was teaching him to think a different way
Mm.
and to explore things that I would never think I would ever explore in my life. But by him being autistic and thinking a different way and doing things a different way, it opened my mind and up and figure out ways to relate with him. And I feel that when you do things repetitiously, they catch up very quick. And now he's at home right now, but he did graduate high school with honors. I'm so proud of him. He graduated last year because they did extend their school programs, the high school's quick activities, the programs in his school that they allowed him to stay in school till he was 22 years old. And I saw him walk across the stage with other autism children and with so-called normal children. They did not treat him no differently. He got friends. He's good with electronics. He always on the PlayStation, on his phone, television, everything else. He loved computer works. He does things on computers and everything else. He's very into anime. I mean, he just, like I said, he's just a genius, and I just feel like I'm just overwhelmed. And right now, it's like I'm about to be in tears just to be talk about his story because he's very smart and intelligent, and I'm just proud to have a child. Well, I'm proud mom to have an autism child because he brought a blessing in my life.
And you know what? That's all facts, and I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions that people think because people have autism that they have some type of mental disability, and a lot of times, like my nephew, the boy is smart as a whip. You know, whatever what people may think he lack in one area, he advanced in other areas. So that's my son in the back. um, but and I think that's one of the things that I want to get out there too. That it's not the fact that people with autism have a mental disability. Um, it's just some areas, from my understanding, that they just develop a little slower. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong on that.
No, I feel like that they're they're not slow at any capacity. They just think a different way, and they do things a different way. That put it this way, have you seen the movie Forrest Gump? I feel like he was very intelligent. He just thought a different way,
Yeah,
A- and he was bright. He was outstanding. Just like what was it, Rain Man? They are geniuses. You probably think like because we're so-called normal people, but we're not really normal. We just human beings.
yeah, I'm not
But
normal.
huh?
I said I'm not normal. I know I got a whole bunch of issues.
But I'm just talking about how society, quote unquote, think about us.
Yeah,
But they're not slow at all. Like I said, they just think a different way. And we just got to comprehend and be patient with them because they try to be patient with us. They try to catch up real quick. But if you do things repetitiously in their life, they'll catch on really quick. Because my child, he could talk to you, but you gotta be patient because he do got my stutter problem also on top of autism. But if you pay attention what he says, because he could speak clearly at times, you'll be amazed what he will come out his mouth. I mean, the first sentence that came out his mouth, and like I said, this was like when he was like 4 years and a half or something like that, and I made him dinner. Now I never taught him big words and everything else. He just looked at me and said, "Mom, this delicious." I'm like, nobody taught him these big vocabulary words, but he put the words in the correct sentence and everything else, and it just blew my mind. I mean, like I said, they, woo. Like you said, just pay attention to them and be patient with them. Man, they'll surprise you.
Niners, I don't know if you remember the question I asked.
No, can you repeat it?
I was saying that the biggest misconception is that people think that they have some type of mental disability. When, and from my observation, I just see it just certain areas. It just take them a little longer to pick things up.
Well, it's autism is a spectrum, and I know some people don't want to say that, but it just depends on where you fall on the spectrum. And, I don't believe in calling anyone slow, but it just is is classified as a mental disability, but people just put so much negativity on mental disability, because technically depression, anxiety, ADHD, all of that is also they are also mental disabilities, you know. And so I just think you can't look at it like that because you do have to acknowledge, yes, you're going to have to be more patient. You're going to have to give um my son a little bit more grace, you know what I mean? Because like like she said, they think differently, So that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with them. That doesn't make us more normal or what have you. It just means that it's just there's another different person in the world. Somebody else different from you that you can still learn something from. You're going to take something away from interacting with my child, you know. Whether he teaches you how to edit a video and post it on YouTube, because I don't know how to do that, you know, I don't know how to do any of that, or whether he's sitting down and explaining to you how to design something on this video game, like you're going to take something away from it. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. So I think that's where the mental disabilities and the negativity comes from with that, because a lot of people will look at someone with autism and just immediately write them off. And I think about that a lot too. You know, why when I was younger, one of the questions that came to mind was, why was I chosen to be his mom? And there was a reason for that. He's taught me to have more patience. I never looked at people like, if there was something different about you, I never was like, oh, I can't associate with you, or I don't want to talk to them, never anything like that. I've always had sympathy and empathy. But there was a reason that I was chosen to be his mother. And so I think about that every day when I'm interacting with him, when I'm talking to him and doing things for him and trying to get resources for him, because he could have been placed with someone else that didn't understand anything about autism or would never try to understand, and his life could have been way worse. So,
Exactly.
And that's all facts. And like you said, because I got ADHD. Um, I had it since I was a kid, and people at first, it was a stigma even on that when I was coming up. That was a big thing back in the '80s and early '90s, and like to me now, I look at it as a superpower. I can multitask.
mhm.
um,
Mhm.
so I mean, it's something that I grew into, something that I learned. Um, so like even like when I look at my nephew, I don't see him having no mental disability. I see him understanding the world in a way that I can't.
Mhm.
Like just the way he perceived things give me a new outlook. So yeah, uh, and that's why these talks are important because, like you said, it's a spectrum too. So it's different levels of it. I understand, but this is something that, in a way, shape, or form, that we all are affected by. Either we have, a family member, and some people actually have it. Like young RZA came up here. I didn't know he had autism. I had another friend who have autism. I didn't know he had it. So,
And then, sorry to
oh, oh
interrupt,
no, oh no, go ahead.
but there could also be a lot of undiagnosed adults walking around because, everybody says, "Oh, why is there such a boom in autism?" It's not that it's a boom; it's always been around, but it was always, "Oh, something wrong. He ain't right, or he gonna grow out of that." So there's people walking around that don't even know that they have it, that they
Exactly,
are
and just like you said, sorry, but just like you said earlier, autism is not a disease,
autistic.
and us parents is not our fault because they are autistic. It's just something that, like you said, God chose us for a reason. But no, teach, like you said, teach us patience, teach us understanding in the world, and unconditional love
Hmm.
for them and for our children and for people regardless. Because if how can you? I'm not here to judge anybody, and I hate when people do judge people of their speech impairment or their development skills or how they dress or anything. I mean, you're not God, so how can you judge? And I like with people with autism, like I said earlier, they just think a different way. And I believe they are geniuses. They do things so fascinating that it's like it's out of this universe. I mean, and I'm just so proud to have a autism young man. He's not a child anymore. He's not a baby because he's 23 years old right now. But I'm just overwhelmed because I'm so excited to have a child like that. Because, like I said, while I'm teaching him, he's teaching me also.
Let me ask you, ladies, this: what are some of the things that you go through that people may not know? Um, like far as some of the um, just share, if you don't mind, just share some of the ups and downs that you go through.
Um, I'll say I've dealt with a lot of guilt over the years. Um, Feeling like I haven't done enough for him. Like maybe he'd be a bit further along if I had got more services or if I'd known about this sooner. Should I have, if I'd done more research? Um, that's been my number one. Um, yeah, and just being overwhelmed. I don't know. I can't think of anything else that I go through that people wouldn't know about since autism. There's is more information out there now than there used to be. So it's well right now is dealing with a teenager going through puberty and he's autistic. So teaching him boundaries and he might have done something and he didn't understand why that wasn't okay. So now he has to go back and have these conversations with people and we have to talk to him, so that's been rough. um trying to make sure I push his limits but don't overwhelm him at the same time. That's been kind of hard because he's a teenager, he's my only boy, and I want him to be a man. And but I know that there are some limitations, but there shouldn't be any at all, and I try to get him to understand that he can do anything that he sets his mind to. But that's been a little rough. So, especially with me being divorced now. so it's not that constant male presence in one household, so it's just been a little bit rough.
And Cindy, your son is an adult now, right?
I think that's difficult for me to do is to try to find him a job, try to get him in a program so he can start spreading his own wings. Yeah, I used to be a helicopter bomb. I didn't allow him to do this and that, but now I allow him. I mean, but it was before the age of him that he is now. But I allow him to go to the store because he's good with money. That's another thing that I'm overjoyed about because even when he was in school, he was one of the school treasurers. I mean, like I say, he's so excellent. Sometimes it brings tears to my eyes that he's capable of doing things that us, like I said, us people, if us people can. Like I said, uh, he's good in math and everything else, and that's why he became the treasurer. And he's good at counting money, subtracting money, and everything else, and knowing how much. When I bring him a certain amount of money, he goes to the store by even by himself. I mean, I used to I had to take him to the store and everything else, but he started going to the store by himself ever since he was like without allowing him to stop being so scarified.
Hmm.
If that's a word. But I'm just because I think I started him off going to the store by himself when he was about 16, 17 years old. And that was difficult because the first time I was so doggone scared. I said, make sure you have your phone. Don't talk to strangers because I did that repetitively too. I said, don't talk to strangers. But if you see a stranger try to come next to you, you scream and you run like hell. I said, no. And I said, and while you're running, you better dial my number and you better call me if something happened because I'll be running towards you. I said, make sure you when you cross the street, you look both ways, and be careful of doing it. I was so nervous. I mean, my heart was like it's like it was coming out my chest. But I was like, oh, but I just gotta let this man be a young man be a man. I said, okay, I got trust the Lord that He gonna keep him covered, but if he gonna have a safe passage back home. So I allowed him to do that, and ever since the first time, I got more comfortable and let him do it because he gonna have to know the world himself. But I still got that helicopter bomb a little bit in me, but I just gotta make sure that I know I always keep God first, and I know if I keep it in God's hands. Um, he would keep my child covered. It won't have nothing to harm him. So I'm trying to find him a job so he could be independent and know how take care of household and plus he has chores in the house. He does wash dishes. He does take out the trash, and he does cook a little bit. He loved cooking French fries, by the way. He cut out that bag and he get the frying up, and he don't know how works the microwave and things of that forth. He cleans up his room, sweeps and everything else, and sometimes I allow him to wash his own clothes and things and that forth. I just try and make him be a young man that he deserves to be instead of me keep him stagnant. Don't allow him to do anything there else. I'm trying to allow him to spread his wings.
I'm trying to scroll back up because we have Queen of the whole damn thing. She's a therapist and she actually works with autistic children. And She's been doing it. I don't know if y'all can see the comment on the screen. She's been doing it for 17 years, and she made a comment that I'm unfamiliar. I'm trying to find the comment that she made. It was something about Queen. I don't know if you're still in here, but it was a comment about, was it AB? It was some type of,
ABA therapy.
yeah. Um, does he does nephew go through AB therapy?
So he was getting it. I want to say, yeah, this was back in 2017 to middle of 2018, and it was amazing. Unfortunately, my insurance through my employer doesn't cover ABA. They don't cover anything for autism. No autism services. So I couldn't continue to go. I had Medicaid for a while, and they covered it with everything, but covered everything. I'm sorry. But right now I'm in the process of trying to get him a waiver so that he can get Medicaid back and start going through ABA. Like I will always recommend that to any autism parent. Um, it it his therapist was amazing. They pick your child up and take them to the center or take them out, take them to the park. Um, we go to a place called Play Place, Play Place Center for Autistic Children, Autistic and Special Needs Center. Like they changed the name, but it's a great place. The woman who founded it, her oldest child is autistic, and that's why she started it. But his therapist came there with us. She came to our house every Monday through Friday after school, worked on him with emotional and social development. She helped him learn. She taught him how to tie his shoes. Something that me and his dad struggled with for a long time. She did it. It's great. It was really a godsend, and I can't wait till he gets it back.
Well, he used to have and he used to be in that program also. They was teach him. That's how he learned. That's how he really learned how to speak. Cause they was trying to teach him motor skills and stuff like that, and shapes and like tie shoes and everything else. And they did a great job. And like I said, that's how it's something just click because it's like they was teaching him motor skills, but I still haven't heard his voice. So like I said, when he was 4 years old, I was because I even had to send him to school with Pampers in his book bag because he couldn't tell nobody that he had to use the bathroom. So it's difficult. It was difficult for me to even potty train him because he couldn't tell me he had to use the bathroom. But I just learned the patience just to sit him on the toilet or on the potty and everything else. Where I think that he was about to do it, but when he got to talking and everything else, it was more easier for I could potty train him and he been like I said he's 23 years old and he's just outstanding right now.
And see, that's one of the main reasons I wanted to have this show, is because you never know another person's experience, what another person is going through. I'm a firm believer in giving compassion and understanding to everyone because of that fact. We don't know each other's struggles, and just to hear, like, even this is my sister. This is so some of the things that she goes through. I don't know. She don't. She, our bloodline is just the way we came up. When we have problems, we find ways to fix them, and so even some of the struggles that she goes through, I'm unaware of. Um, and I'm sitting here getting emotional now because that's my baby. And to know that she been because she don't show it. I mean, when I say I got strong women in my family, she don't show it. I don't see her cry. I don't see her complain. She very rarely asks for anything. She helps me, because she helps me a lot because of my
Hmm.
eyesight. So just hearing some of the things now, um, you know, I'm 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 taken back. But I know her. I know how strong she is. Um, and you, Cindy, I met you the other day. Um, well, I got to hear you talk about Prince the other day, um, and just your energy, your aura, your vibration, your upbeat um, is amazing. And I
Well,
think a
thank
lot
you.
of oh, no problem. I think a lot of things get overlooked, and we tend to just focus on our lives, and a lot of times we don't realize how well we got it until we hear someone else's story. But like I said, you two women, like my sister, I can speak from personal experience. She don't show it, but in you,
I,
you would never know. Just because your personality and how upbeat you are, some of the things that you go through, and this is
um,
why I tell people always be mindful. Uh-huh.
did you
Well,
ask?
go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry, I had lost connection for like 45 seconds. So I just didn't know if a question was asked. So I just was
No, it was
wondering.
he was giving you a praise how strong a woman you are.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I didn't hear any of it.
You can listen to it on playback.
Okay.
That'll give me an extra view. Um, but yeah, things like this, I think people need to. We need to have more of these conversations so we can see the human side of one another. Because so many times we so quick to judge and overlook other people and not know their stories, not know their struggles, not know the pain they go through when this app ain't on, when no one is looking. But to hear the perseverance, like Cindy, your son is 24, and like you said, he's
No,
awesome.
no, 23.
23. I'm sorry.
Uh-huh.
And you say he's awesome. I
Yeah.
know my nephew. I mean, he was showing me. I don't know how to edit on YouTube. He was showing me a video, and I'm looking like, "You did that?" He like, "Yeah." And video games. I mean, like I can't figure out Minecraft. The boy is a genius in Minecraft. Uh, so, I mean, it is like one of the biggest misconceptions. Like my sister said earlier. People want to just say it's a mental disability when there's a lot of things that's consider mental disability. I had ADHD, um, and I've learned to live with it. I learned to use it to my benefit. Um, and people put these stigmas on people. You hear someone with autism, you automatically think that some people, like you said, that they're because you're normal that you're smarter, and that's not true.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah.
furthest away
I
from the truth.
I have a stuttering problem, and people look at me like I'm slow, but oh, sure, my screws are very tight up there. So I don't struggle.
Yeah. It's hard. Like now, what I worry about a lot with getting older and my kids getting older. My son is the oldest, and I want to make sure he's straight, before I get up out of here, all my kids. But you always think about the oldest is supposed to watch over everybody once you gone, but I gotta make sure his little sisters can help him too, and wherever he lacks. If he does lack, hopefully he doesn't. You know what I mean? But it's just realistically that may be a possibility. So I think about that often.
And see, that's one of them things that people don't take in consideration. When they decide to judge another person, they don't know what's going on, the mental struggles people have to go through, um, and that's why I said, this is perfect because it is Autism Awareness Month, but it's also giving us the opportunity to hear stories from parents, and what they go through because we won't know unless you tell us. You know,
And I, it's not showing up, but what's your name? Not the word, but what's your sister name?
Oh,
sister the word. We just
Sister
call
know
it.
the word.
yeah.
Okay, but you, if you need somebody to talk to, that could really relate with you, you can follow me on Instagram or Facebook. It's Cindy Poole.
Cool.
A network, social media network. It's all Cindy Poole. You can find me anytime. We can call friends on Facebook, and even just want somebody to talk to. I'm here for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't have like a YouTube handle, like a channel, but you can add
But
me
you
on
can
Facebook. Yeah, I'll give you my Facebook. I don't want to say my name.
okay. Well, just messaging me said you the word sister. Then I'm like, okay. Then I click and we can become friends on Facebook and we can message each other and we can have FaceTime or anything.
Okay, that's cool.
And see, that's what's up, and that's why we have conversations to connect people, to build with people, to share information and experiences, to help each other out. That's what we need in life. Especially
Agree.
when someone is going through what we're going through. It's always um, good to have a person that understands.
Yeah, and if a person that's going through the same thing that you're going through and feel, and then you what don't want. Hold up, excuse me. Let me slow down. Okay, for be have the same person have the same experience that you were, but you won't be left. Feel like you left alone in this world
Yeah.
because you're not alone. It's other people that's in your shoes, and that we can help each other out.
Definitely. Is there anything else that you think people should know, far as uh, like early signs maybe that you notice? Um,
Um, my biggest thing with Theo is he wasn't asking questions. I just felt like with him being 2.5, 3 years old, he should have been, what's this? What's that? He wasn't even doing the basic things. So that was one. Um, and I wouldn't say his speech itself was delayed. Like he was saying little things, but um yeah, really, that was it. That was my biggest indication with Theo. And then like one of the physical signs of autism is like flapping hands like wings when they're having tantrums and stuff like that. He was doing that. That's what, yeah, those were the two biggest things that got me.
Mine was really big communication because when times that he was feeling sick or whatever, he wouldn't tell me, but I could see it in his face, and I could see his mood swings was a little bit different because he'd just be sleeping. I know he sometimes he had a terrible time to find to know that when it's his bedtime, especially when he was going to school and all. But I saw a different in his facial features and stuff like that. So I know something was wrong. I said, but I was asking him like, Antoine, are you sick or whatever? But he kept on saying that he's fine and everything else. But like, nah, you're not fine because I could see it. But it's like I don't know, was he trying to be strong for me myself, or for me, or for him, or whatever. But I said, no, you're just gonna stay in bed and let me take care of you. But that's the thing that it's feel like it's difficult. It's times when I could try to pull things out of him when something probably be serious wrong with him, but he won't tell me. But I got that under control. Whenever he's sick or wherever, if he's feeling sad, wherever it's going inside his self, um, and he's opened up more and more to me.
And see, because like my son now, he's 3. He has a speech delay, and the doctor told us it's because we speak multiple languages in the home, and he has a high palate, so his words come out a little different. And when I asked her, she said, it was too early to diagnose if he did have autism, but she don't feel he does because the other things that he excel at. But you never truly know, until you know. So that's something that I'm not even gonna say a fear. It's just something I'm aware of. And if it is, if he later on is diagnosed with autism, I already know. Like the things that the boy excels at is awesome. I mean, you give him a screwdriver, he's mechanically inclined. Um, he makes his own breakfast, what meaning he go in the refrigerator and get his little Eggo waffles and put it in the toaster. When we go for walks, at 2 he was able to look up and down the street and let me know if it was a car coming or not. So, um, you know, not saying that he does, but if he does, I know there's other things besides speech that he excels at.
Hmm.
But this is definitely eye opening. Like I said, it's stuff my sister has been going through that I didn't even know. Life. I can't blame it on life.
No, it's just me not
Uh,
always
we,
sharing everything. That's all.
yeah, like I said earlier, I just feel like it's just a blessing that we have autism children. It's not a burden to me. It's a blessing because, like I said, um, while I'm teaching him, he's teaching me, and and just think of the world a different way that I would never thought about if I didn't have one.
That's true.
And it is a blessing. You know why? Because the creator, uh, the creator gives gifts and blessings to people, and like my sister said earlier, she's the perfect parent for him. You're the perfect parent for your son. Um, so it's a blessing for both, not only for the child having you as a parent, but uh, you as a parent having a child. Um, I waited till I was 36 to have kids because I didn't have the patience when I was younger. Now I do. So it's a blessing for me to have my kids at my age. But uh, like I said, I've seen since my sister had, my nephew, just her growth as a person. Um, she amazing. She was amazing before, but I seen the transformation in her as a person. So he made her better. You know.
Definitely. He he helped me grow up, grow up even more, be more responsible. Um, he's the first reason I do what I do. You know, reason number one. I got two other little ones running around. So yeah, he definitely made me a better person. He's taught me a whole lot in this journey of life.
Yes, indeed.
And see, sometimes it takes something special to pull out something special within you, and that's what I seen with my sister. If my nephew didn't have autism, uh, I'm not gonna say she wouldn't have developed into the person she is today. But by him having autism, it gave her another switch. It gave her, in my opinion, it pulled something that was deeper in her out a lot sooner. Um, so what a lot of people may think as a curse is actually a gift.
Exactly.
So let me ask you, you ladies, this too. Cindy, let me ask you first because your son is an adult now, and my sister said something earlier. She was worried about him like being able. Um, she just wanted him to develop as a man. Do you have any suggestions for her, maybe? Um, because
Okay.
I'm a be in his life. I'm planning on training him this summer. Um, I'm spending more time with him. But is there any suggestions for her and me? Um,
Okay. The first is suggestion: be patient and do things repetitiously, for they could comprehend, and then it could be like habit form to them, and they can learn quick. But that's what I did with my son, and then put God first, um, and, and trust in Him that He will cover him, and guide him the right way, for no harm to come towards him. But and then you're gonna have to start trusting in God and yourself, and to allow Him to spread His wings when it's time. Like I said, teach chores around the house, and and allow him, don't hover over him. Yeah, teach him a few times. Like I said, be consistent, and do things repetitiously. Help him out a few times, and you think, and if you see that he have a hang of it, then step away and allow him do it himself. And but you could just sneak and peek and see, is he doing mistakes, or he can handle it, and just walk away. Because like I said, I was afraid him cooking on on the stove, or even baking stuff in the oven. But he was going to elementary school, and they was teaching him how to cook also. So I allow him to cook on the stove, and will walk away from him, and let him do him, and for he could learn how to be independent, and he could do things on his own. Uh, and and then, like I said, I give him chores around the house for he could learn how to be clean and know how to be sanitized and everything else. Um, and for him to be independent, like walk to the store by himself and things of that for. Um, And like I said, like, you just gotta do things repetitiously and constant in his life, for he could understand the world and understand that, uh, and he could feel that he's independent and and you could be proud of him as he proud of himself. Like, yes, I did it, because it's a system when they can do things by themselves, and we're not just cover over them.
Okay. That's I do like that advice. But I have a question for you because I'm not a helicopter parent at all. um, I I appreciate an independent child, but um, how did you how did you teach your son how to interact with other people in the world? Like that makes me nervous because there's been times where we've been at the grocery store and he's been stimming, and then I've heard a little girl say, "Oh, what's wrong with him? What is he doing?" You know what I mean? It's like as a mother, it's like, "Hey, don't say that," but it's a kid. So how did you teach him how to handle things like that?
Well, um, I I always, just like myself, even though I got more encouraged near deals, because I normally don't speak to people unless they speak to me. But he got that little bit in him. But put it this way, what you see when you see him out in public, he's very different at home. You okay? You remember on Def Comedy Jam, or Russell Simmons? He
Hmm.
don't speak that much, but he still come out and say, "You have a good evening, good night," and then he just walk
Yeah.
away, and he just be in his own little world. Okay, that's my
Yeah.
son at home, but when he out in public, he's the most friendliest person in the freaking world. He like to interact with people. He get along good with his friends in school and stuff like that. And even the people that wasn't in his classroom, like I going back to the norm. And people love him. And then his looks just excel anyway, because I think he's a very handsome man. But like I said, it's just his oral, I believe, that people like gravitate to him. And like I said, if you have the time and patience to understand what he's talking about, he'll give you a good conversation. And like I said, you just gotta let them be themselves, and you
Hmm.
got allow to be comfortable, and then people will gravitate to them, and then they could have communications like we could communicate with each other.
Hmm. Okay.
And then, did y'all know that Albert Einstein, Mozart, Dan Aykroyd all have autism?
No, I didn't know that.
Me either.
It's a lot of famous people who actually have autism. Um, in movies and art. I mean, Albert Einstein was one of the most famous mathematicians of all time.
Hmm.
So, I mean, that just goes to show. And you know, Mozart. I'm a true fan of classical music, and Mozart is top three my favorite classical composer. And I didn't even know he had autism. But like you said, it's been around. It's not something new. It's just something that we became more aware of.
Hmm.
Hmm.
But if you ladies can leave the people with anything, um, what would you say about the experience of a parent? Um,
don't judge. Um, don't judge. You never know why that kid may be screaming in the grocery store. It's not a bad kid just acting out all the time. Might be another reason for that. And that parent is probably overwhelmed. And your stares and judging is just making it that much worse. Um, and be a part of the village if you can. Extra help is always appreciated. It definitely goes a long way. It never goes unnoticed. Like I am so appreciative of my village. So autism parents, I urge you, if you don't come with a built-in village, try to make one. Try to build one.
And and be grateful. Like I said, it's not a burden; it's a blessing.
Hmm.
And be strong and just be patient. Everything will pan out, and everything will come into fruition. And then you will be comfortable, and you'll feel happy that you did all you can do, and trust in God that and He'll be all right.
And Niners, I know you gotta get some sleep before work.
Yeah, I was about to
That
say I'm dozing. I'm
but
sorry.
but pops popped up here. Dad up
Okay.
here. You
Hola,
want to say
hola.
something? You want to say something
Cinco
to
de
her before she
Mayo.
go? To, do you want to say something to her dad before she go?
No, I was just listening. Like I said, I mean, it's never a curse; it's a blessing, and it's so
Mhm.
rewarding to know that you do all you can and all you do, and it's as y'all just said. I mean, it doesn't go unnoticed. You're stronger than what you know, and you do what you must. And I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I try every day. Okay, I'm gonna get on up out of here. Peace.
I appreciate you, baby. I'm gonna do a part two
Enjoy
of this
talking
before the
to
end of the month.
you.
Um, I'm gonna do a part two to this before the end of the month. So
Yeah, I come back.
okay, and I'm gonna get some. I was hoping Young RZA. It was two more other people who I wanted to join the panel. So definitely, I'm gonna get them up here and engage in more dialogue because I think the more perspectives that we get, the more clarity we can have and the more solutions we can develop. But I definitely believe in what you just said, Niners, when you said the village. Um, we need to get back to that village because there's a lot of issues that we can help one another with if we are in that village. Not just this one, but um, many more. Um, but
That's
we
why
are.
I that's why I lend out my helping hand to your sister. And so whenever she want to talk or need something, um, I'm here for her.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I was saying, it was nice talking to you, and I'm definitely gonna be following you when I get back on social media. I've been taking a break, but I'm definitely gonna follow you.
Okay, thank you.
You're
I'm here
welcome.
for
Right
you.
here. Thank
Like we all said, it take a village. So
you.
I hold my hand up. I'm volunteer my work.
I
And then,
appreciate it.
and I hit you up. Hit me up when you get off work tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. And
Uh,
then Cindy, I'm gonna
love
get with
y'all.
you too. Love you too, baby.
Love you.
Oh, okay. Whenever you have part two, if you want me to come back up, I will.
Definitely. If you can, when you drop down, can you put your Instagram in a chat? That way I can link up with you on Instagram and I can message you and let you know next time I do a show.
Well, it's easy. That's how you look up Cindy Pool. I think
Cindy
it's
Pool.
I think it's 699 or 399, something like that. But yeah, if you look at my YouTube and you see my face, is this is it's the same face on Instagram.
Okay. I definitely do that.
Yeah, cause I think I'll have to be like a one of your mods to if I could share my information.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So just like I said, Cindy Pool, internet networks. You could easily find me. My name never changed. I don't change to anything else.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna link up. It'll be towards the end of the month, before the month is over. But we definitely gonna do a part two of this.
Okay. Well, have a blessed night.
You too, and I appreciate you for coming up here and sharing your story and giving advice to my sister and me. Because, like I said, um, I'm getting stronger, so I got to get back to my normal, and I got to be in my nephew life, and just the information that you gave us is helpful for me. So I appreciate you.
Oh, you're welcome. Anytime.
You have a good one.
You too.
I appreciate everyone who came out and rocked with us. We're gonna do a part two of this because there's more information out there. There's more people with more stories. If you know someone with autism, if you know a parent who has a child with autism, please refer them to this channel because even after this month is over, this is a conversation and dialogue that will continue. Because, like I say, it is a part of my life. It's a part of a lot of our lives. And sharing stories not only help inspire others, but sometimes it's therapeutic. Um, D Truth, appreciate you. Dubs. Next time we do it, bro. I know come up and share your story, bro. Um, come up and share your story. This is a safe space, bro. Um, but definitely, I think Nate the Great is about to go live, so I'm gonna head over there. I appreciate everybody coming through, rocking with your boy, sharing the live. Appreciate you, JC family. Uh, but yeah, this is one of them things that you know uh, touches us in a different way. You know, I felt so like when my sister told me, my nephew had autism. I felt helpless. Like I couldn't not only do something for my nephew, but like I said, that's my baby. My sister's been my baby. And just to know that the struggles and the hurdles that she had to go through, um, it made me feel some type of way. But now my nephew is a teenager and seeing him develop, and like I said, my sister do not complain. Anything that needs to be done, she just do it. She find a way to do it, and that's how we all are. So her strength gives me strength. Um, but definitely remember what I say, man. Care about how you feel, and conversations build nations. It's the word. I'll be back later tonight, but I just wanted to do this special. But we over at Nate's the Greats podcast. Check y'all in a minute.